from the ground up what it is we want to see in our lives. Good evening, everyone. My name is Kim Alpont, and I'm proud to say that I'm the executive director of this amazing organization on the south side of Chicago called Affinity Community Services. On behalf of the board, staff, volunteers, and constituents of Affinity, I say to our friends at Astraea, welcome to fall in Chicago. And thank you for this amazing opportunity to say a few words about Vernita Gray. We build from the ground up what it is we want to see in our lives. Vernita spoke these words during Affinity's Burning Bowl event in 2013. I've watched the video of that speech many times since Vernita's death, and have been reminded each time of her sheer will to, as my grandmother would say, make a way out of no way. When there was no community center for LGBTQ people, Vernita opened her home. When there were no shelter beds for LGBTQ homeless youth, Vernita offered her sofa or her floor. When there was no newspaper for lesbians, Vernita co-founded Lavender Women. When a face was needed that truly reflected the diversity of our community during the fight for marriage equality, Vernita spoke up. And when decision makers needed to understand that there were couples in Illinois who did not have the luxury of waiting until June to get married, Vernita and others sued the county. Vernita created community in so many ways, and often from the ground up. She was a community activist out of absolute necessity. And young people were her passion. It would have been so amazing to have her speak at the LGBTQ Homeless Youth Summit a few weeks ago. Because after all, she was doing this activism work in 1969 when she was a young person herself. And can you imagine the things she would have told the nearly 100 youth who attended that summit? Now let's be real. Some of it probably wouldn't have been appropriate for polite audiences. But it would be the real deal. Vernita Gray was an icon in the LGBTQ community and is someone who we need to make sure every queer and trans young person knows about as they do their work to make the world a better place or simply to survive. But let's not do to Vernita what our society does to so many of our leaders. We put them on pedestals, we worship them, we forget that they were human beings. Vernita brought her humanness to her activism. And young people and others need to know that you can be a human being and fight for justice at the same time. We also need to be reminded that few of us do this work alone. In addition to our colleagues in the trenches, and I have to say congratulations to Tracy and Julio, my friends and comrades, some of us are lucky enough to have people in our lives who reduce the crazy. You know what I mean. Tracy alluded to that earlier. They bring structure to our private worlds, make sure we eat and go to the doctor. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And make us unplug from time to time. So as we celebrate the legacy and life of Vernita Gray, let us also thank her widow for sharing Vernita with us, especially during our last years. And so, it is my distinct honor to present Vernita's award to a fierce woman in her own right. And that is her widow, Miss Pat Ewert.
As you all know, Vernita loved you as well. Vernita was a gift to all of us. And part of that gift we kept for an extra few years, and it was because of what she felt for all of you out there. It was your love that kept her alive. She had a mission, and you were part of it. I thank each and every one of you. She got the call from Astraea before she was so sick, and she was thrilled, delighted to be part of this evening, but unfortunately she just couldn't make it. I thank you for giving her the fuel that she needed for those extra few years. For those extra few years that I got to be with her. Our work is far from done. So all of you are out there to continue. I also feel blessed that I have Toots. Fran. She was that woman that made Vernita tough, resilient, full of humor. Who was able to really give her the kind of values that she needed to be the woman that she was. I bless her. I thank her for all that she's done.
I say thank you. You do not know how much you have filled my heart with love for the way that you have honored my daughter. I thank God that He gave me the privilege to have Vernita. She came into my life at a very early age. And she believed and she did what she believed in. She was a good girl. And I'm very proud of her. You had to know her to love her. You could never know Vernita and not love her. Because she was going to tell you what she thought. She told you how she felt. And she got that from her mother. So to each of you I say thank you. Tonight, pray for Pat and I. My heart aches for Vernita, and I know Pat does too. But I know God has a place for her, and I know she's there. Thank you. God bless each of you, and may God shine in His love upon all of you. Thank you.